Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast, PSL Daily number 7. Today, we're trying to figure out, is there a team on planet Earth that can beat Islamabad United? Because Islamabad United have gone 9 straight PSL games without a single loss. Not only that, tactics have been changed, rule book thrown out of the window, a middle order is an opener is a tail-ender is gone, Matt Short is in Australia, havoc in the PSL. But one thing is consistent. That is my brother and my co-host, Bashar Syed.
What is up, guys? Today was the Battle of the Lions. The Karachi King versus the Islamabad United.
Mhm.
The mascots were head-to-head. You talked about, is there any team that can beat Islamabad United? That team is Sialkot Stallions, led by Shoaib Malik. Now, I'm not sure if you're following, but the PCB has posted a job opening for a head coach, and Shoaib Malik might be applying.
This is a real thing, right? They actually have?
They actually have.
Yes. Okay. So don't get any ideas to Shoaib Malik, right? Because this man will show up with Sialkot Stallion era circa 2007 with all those people still alive and breathing. And he'll be like, Islamabad United, challenge accepted.
He's a man who can wear many different hats, mentor, player, and he can also be head coach.
He can be a lot of things. That's correct. Today was also a very special day because we connected with our Patreon members after a while. We've been talking about this on PSL Daily for the past few days, that this morning was our watch along / monthly call. We had one of the PSL games on your laptop. The guys were on my laptop. It was just a great time, man. Honestly, for us, it was more of like a venting session about the machinations of what goes along trying to get this apparatus in check, how it was dealing with some of the PSL teams, how it was dealing with some of the MLC teams, the GT20, what's been going on with us, our trip to Dubai, all that. It was a lot of fun. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Whoever was at that call, it was a lot of fun. And we were able to connect with a lot of you. So thank you very much.
It's always great to connect. It's always good to catch up. And, you know, I'll be very transparent. I hope that none of our sponsors are watching this part right now. But Yashi Sports can come and go. Sendwave can come and go. But our patrons have been there with us since day one. We started recording this podcast, the video portion on an iPhone, and the audio was on some Behringer mics. And now we're on 4K cameras. We're on the best mics that money can buy for podcasting. And it is really all thanks to our patrons. They help make this podcast sustainable to what it is.
100%. So shout out to you guys. There are some people on our Patreon account since August 2023. And that's just wild to me. And thank you, honestly, from the depths of our hearts for your support. And again, shout out to Taimur Rabani, who's been a executive producer for the past few months. And again, one of the loyal day oneers of our podcast. Taimur has been there. He spoke today. He was really upset about the Dallas Mavericks as his consistent vibe. So, commiserations on that, Taimur. And then AM Masood 34, which he hasn't been on a call for a few months, a few times, actually. So I hope everything's okay with you, AM Masood 34. But thank you very much for being executive producer as well.
Taimur and Masood, they're both based in the US.
Yes.
And the best way to send money from the US to Pakistan is Sendwave.
I can't believe you used one sponsor segment to attach another sponsor segment, Bashar.
Sendwave has competitive rates. They're fast. They're secure. They've got no sending fees. And you can use this code SCOREPK to get $10 towards your first transfer on Sendwave.
Yeah, they have no transfer fees. The way that they make money is through their exchange rates. So you can, send money back home without any fear of getting ripped off. And if you're sending over $100 from the US, you will see the competitive rates kick in. There is no other money transfer service on the market with the rates that Sendwave has. They do fluctuate, so don't take my word on it, but do check the rates on Sendwave today and then check any other competitor and you'll see the difference right there. Use this code SCOREPK, like Bashar said, get $10 off of your first transfer. And not only that, help support the podcast. When you do use SCOREPK, you let Sendwave know that Backward Point sent you, and Sendwave sends more money to Backward Point. We give you more content. That's how the world keeps going.
This Islamabad vs. Karachi match was played on an Australian soil pitch in Karachi. Now, this is something that Ramiz Raja was trying to pursue for the longest time, but there were a lot of hurdles to getting this Australian soil across the oceans to Pakistan.
Tariffs? Any tariffs involved?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of, you're importing soil from Australia. There's a lot of checks and balances that need to go through, especially when it's coming to Pakistan. And finally, the soil got through.
5 years later?
It's taken about 3 years for this entire thing to happen. And finally, the soil is in Karachi. It's grown. They've worked on it. We've got a head curator, Tony Hemming, who's been working tirelessly to get these pitches prepared. And of course, it is an Australian soiled pitch where Pakistani batters in the Pakistan Super League struggle. We saw 234 being scored and chased in this Karachi stadium.
But was that an Australian soil pitch too?
No, that's what I'm getting to. That the first time where you play a match on an Australian soil pitch, team score 128.
You say Australian soil pitch, but the pitch did not react anywhere close to what an Australian pitch would have. The ball stayed low, it gripped, it turned, there was double pace. If anything, this was more of a Karachi pitch than I've ever seen.
Yeah, you would expect some pace and bounce from an Australian soil pitch.
None whatsoever.
Seemed more like a Colombo pitch, if anything.
Honestly, like that's what we were talking about during our Patreon call as well. Is like, is this really what an Australian pitch is supposed to be? Because the ball hardly bounced, except that one absolute Jaffa to Azam Khan's face. Apart from that, I don't remember the ball doing anything extremely crazy. Honestly, the ball was staying so low that Naseem Shah took a wicket, and that too a bowled. Not to take anything away from Naseem Shah, but you and I have been critical of Naseem Shah's lengths, of them being just a tad bit too short and just bouncing over the wicket and not even getting LBW in play. This was just right enough, and the pitch was just soft enough that the ball had stayed low and clipped the top of off. I mean, it was a genuine performance on this pitch from Islamabad United. Islamabad United played 3 spinners here, Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan, and Mohammad Nawaz, and all of them were successful.
The 3 spinners combined 8 overs, 32 runs, and 3 wickets.
Yep.
And again, just back to my older point from a very old podcast that Islamabad has ended the Nawaz versus Imad debate. They've sort of concluded that Imad and Nawaz can both coexist, not just in the squad, but in the playing 11.
Nawaz only got 1 over, went for 8, but just a well-balanced side. Like we were talking about this on our Patreon call, that Islamabad United has the most balanced side when it comes to batting depth and bowling depth. They have about 6 to 7, sometimes 8 bowlers on display at all times if need be, and they bat till 8 or 9.
I'll tell you what's special about this match for Islamabad. So firstly, I think Shadab got a little lucky with winning the toss, and for him to bowl first on this unknown Australian pitch was a great call because you can see how the pitch is behaving. And let's say hypothetically, this was a fast and bouncy pitch. Islamabad have Naseem Shah, Ben Dorshus, Jason Holder, Mohammad Shahzad as the pacer. That's 4 pacers. Let's say hypothetically, if this was a spinning pitch,
Which it was.
they had Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan, Mohammad Nawaz. They have all the bases covered regardless of what you throw at them.
100%. And that's what we see when it comes to a complete performance. Like this team is looking more unbeatable as the days go by. We'll talk about the winning streak as well, which is the longest in PSL history right now, currently 9 straight games if you take the PSL 9 and PSL 10 combined.
So they won 5 games last year on
Yep.
the trot to win the PSL. And then they're right now on a 4-match winning streak, which makes it, in total, they've gone without losing a match for 9 matches in a row.
That's great. And it's the consistency of the squad, consistency of management, and consistency of the execution of plans. Hassan has been here. Coach Hassan has been with the team since last year. And, that ethos, whatever they had carried for the past 8 years, with Hassan in there, it just magnified. And with Rehanul Haq being there since season 1, Hassan, Rehanul Haq, that brain tank, just dissipating the amount of wisdom and the amount of care that goes into having these sort of wins orchestrated, mind-blowing. And now they've just carried over the momentum now, 4 straight wins. You and I were talking about, are they peaking at the right moment? Are they peaking too early? I just think this is a style of play. And the PSL may itself have been stagnated or regressed, but Islamabad United as a franchise and as a team has always been on the side of progression, and they have, in my opinion, surpassed the PSL right now.
Someone said Islamabad United is the Australian team of the PSL.
100%. There's no doubt about it. I would actually pit them against. Remember that Champions League that happened in 2013-14, that one-off, or maybe it was a couple of seasons of that, where it was basically the top teams that had won all of the franchises came and played a tournament. I think Islamabad United would be a good, maybe a top 4 lock in even that tournament right now against all of the top franchises.
And is that your actual opinion, or are you just saying that because you worked with them last year?
No, I have no affiliation with them apart from the hat that I'm wearing and the 5 days I was in Islamabad last year. I'm talking about on pure Just pure merit, man. Honestly, right now, you tell me if I'm wrong with my take right now. They've beaten 4 different teams straight
Across 2 venues.
across two venues, and without breaking a sweat. Name one game where it got tight. It hasn't.
And to think that their platinum pick is unavailable, Matthew Short, I'm talking about, he picked up an injury in the ICC Champions Trophy. And then he went off to Australia for some personal duties. And then he came back to the PSL. He joined the team late. And it turns out that his injury has aggravated to the point where he has been ruled out the PSL. So like their most important pick, Matthew Short, is not even there. And I think they were debating between picking Finn Allen and Matthew Short. But Matthew Short had better numbers against spin, and also he can ball off spin part-time in the power play. And we all know how much Islamabad loves a batter who can ball, or just somebody who can perform in both aspects of the match.
I mean, honestly, we love talking about A-strong and B-strong teams. I feel like this is a B-strong Islamabad United team that beat a A-strong Karachi Kings team.
Salman Agha is not there.
Salman Agha is not there. Matt Short isn't there. It's 2 of your star players not there. And then, without breaking a sweat, these guys, like, it's crazy. Let's go innings by innings. Let's dissect this. I feel like the game was basically won in the first innings when Islamabad United restricted the Karachi Kings for 128 for 7. Again, it seemed like there were more celebrities in the ground than there were actually people. I made a joke on our call that there might be more people on this call than in the ground. And this goes to show that not a lot of eyewitnesses to this absolute debacle that was the Karachi Kings batting. Nobody knew what to do when the ball was staying low and turning a little bit. And honestly, the first 2 wickets were taken by fast bowlers. So it wasn't even Shadab Khan and Imad Wasim hadn't even come into the picture yet before the damage was done. And I want to talk about that David Warner wicket. Naseem Shah swinging the ball in, cutting David Warner in half. An absolute sight to behold when it happens. Naseem Shah, I'm telling you, is one of the fiercest bowlers if he actually bowls it in the right area. A little bit fuller, a little bit swingy. He has that bent action that the ball comes in. And if you can square up a batsman like David Warner, you definitely have the talent to do that to anybody else. I would just like to see Naseem Shah do it and on more occasions. There is one delivery, I believe, of the last PSL. But remind me who he clean bowled that.
Was it Rutherford?
I don't remember.
Was it around the wicket where he just got squared up?
Yeah, was that Rutherford?
That was Rutherford.
It wasn't Rutherford.
Sherfin Rutherford. It was Islamabad versus Quetta.
No.
Was it the ball against David Milan that in swing?
David Milan. Yes. I wanted to say it was a white person, but I didn't want to be racial. But it was a white person. It was David Milan. And that delivery was probably the delivery of the tournament for me. And then right now, watching this David Warner situation, it's up there for me for this tournament.
We talked about this in the last podcast, like Naseem Shah's impact and the fact that he takes the biggest scalp in his first spell, whether it be Saim Ayub in the game against Zalmi, whether it be Shea Hope in the game against Sultans, and now David Warner, arguably the biggest scalp in this Karachi Kings lineup. And to get him out in the way he did, Naseem Shah looks amazing. I was hearing Ali Tareen on the Pro Sports podcast, and he said when he was asked what player that he wishes he could get in the Multan Sultan squad, he mentioned Naseem Shah or Saim Ayub. And he actually tried to get Naseem Shah when the trade was happening last year, but Naseem, on record on the podcast we hosted, said that he wanted to come to Islamabad, so he preferred going to the Islamabad United franchise.
Naseem Shah was 3 overs 16 for 2 until he got smacked in his last over for, how much was it? Just about 13 runs. So that tells you all you need to know. The first 3 overs were absolutely lethal. 2 wickets, under the bag, under 5, under 6 and over. Just absolute wonderful bowling from him. The pitch helped, not going to lie. Pindi and Multan may have been absolutely relentless, but this pitch was a bit more forgiving. I don't know if it was the Australian soil or whatever soil they're trying to bring in.
You think Haris Rauf would have bowled really good here because it's Australian soil?
Man, anybody would have bowled really good here. It was a bowling pitch, and honestly, it was nice to see that. I think Karachi Kings absolutely misread what the pitch was going to do. They went out to bat like it was a 200 pitch or 180 pitch, and this game would have actually been quite interesting if they had made it 145 to 150.
Is this a home match for David Warner because it's an Australian pitch?
Again, you keep saying Australian pitch and you're trying to make these dad jokes, but none of them are landing because the pitch did not behave at all as we understand Australian pitches to do.
Well, Ben Dorsch is Australian, 2 overs, 8 runs on Australian soil.
You got to stop saying that, man. It has nothing to do with anything.
Do you think Matthew Short missed playing here?
I like the commitment on staying for the bit. I like that. Anything stand out to you on the
Jason Holder versus James Vince was a pretty good delivery. As a right arm, medium pace, outswing bowler, that was a really good delivery.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that actually was really fun. Like, it was really good bowling all around. I think this was the perfect match to have in the background while you're having a Patreon video call, because we could talk about our stuff, and we talked about it a lot because we were on call for like two and a half hours. And then every now and then something ecstatic would happen, and we would all like jump in and focus on that and then go back to that. This was the perfect match for the innings to build and like it just playing in the background like a Netflix movie.
We saw Shadab Khan's bowling spell, ball by ball, 4 overs, 2 for 17, 10 dot balls. And
not a single bad ball.
That's what I wanted to say.
That's crazy.
This has nothing to do with the pitch or how it behaved, but it's more about Shadab landing the balls in the right areas.
You gotta stop saying balls. This is when this podcast is canceled. This is how we get demonetized.
Landing deliveries in the right areas.
Thank you, sir.
And I didn't see a single short pitch delivery. I didn't see a single full toss from Shadab. So these are all good signs that the more he's playing at this level, the more we're seeing improvements in his bowling. And there's less and less error balls that he is throwing.
Shadab Khan, 2 overs, 6 runs for 1 wicket. That was his first 2 overs. Then he got a little bit more expensive near the end, and that 2 was not enough. Like, it was just 11 runs the next 2 overs with another wicket in there. Man, I'm just like, that LBW to
Irfan Niazi.
Irfan Niazi had no idea that was a wrong run. He came back, he wanted to cut it, boom, strap in the middle of middle, and that was how you know that the ball was so straight that Irfan Khan Niazi walked before the finger went up. And that, again, shows me that whatever Shadab has been trying to do, at least for this game, it landed. His deliveries were in the right area. They were flatter. They were quicker. They were turning both away and against spin. The straighter one was quick, flat, hard to read. He was bowling them quick. All-round performance. As a wristy, myself, I loved it.
Shadab just looks a lot more comfortable playing for Islamabad United. I don't know if it's just a team environment thing, or if it's just he's not taking as much pressure as he does playing for Pakistan versus playing in franchise cricket.
I think he knows that if nothing else, Shadab Khan has 10 games that he will definitely play. I don't think he has that sort of clarity when he plays for Pakistan.
That's also what Mohammad Haris said in our podcast. He said that Peshawar Zalmi gave him the confidence in his first year that whether he scores a duck or whether he scores a century, that he'll play all 10 matches. And from our experience, I think that's what players really are looking for. That security that whether they go out there, express themselves, if it doesn't work out, that they'll still back them.
Yeah, 100%. Nobody really got going in the Karachi Kings batting lineup. 30 off 37 by Tim Seifert. Not his best outing, honestly.
Abbas Afridi's cameo had me a bit surprised. I mean, I know he can smash it, but that was quite impressive batting.
He basically sort of put some life into this dead innings. Otherwise, this was DOA, honestly. And Abbas Afridi's 9-ball 24 basically let Fahad Mustafa, Adnan Siddiqui, Salman Iqbal dance a little bit. Otherwise, the camera kept panning to them and they kept having their heads down and like frowning and not realizing what's happening and just absolute mayhem there. Again, I wanted to talk about just the disconnect with the Karachi audience that this Karachi Kings has. It seems like an ARY ad. It seems like a Jeeto Pakistan trailer. All these celebrities, no connection to the city of Karachi. No, not a real, there's no connection. And you could see that where there were more celebrities in the stands than there were actual fans, it felt like. And Hiramani and Mani are supporting Lahore, but they were there. Again, Salman Iqbal connects. Asim Azhar was there. Okay, that guy's a localite. He did sing the song for Karachi King, so maybe some sort of, coherence there. But for the most part, the message is, again, DOA. Karachi Kings has failed the city of Karachi like many others have, and there is just no connect to it.
I totally agree. But the one connect that we all have
You gave away with a smile.
It's with Yashi Sports.
You gave it away this time.
Karachi Kings and the Karachi crowd have a disconnect. Backward point, our listeners and Yashi Sports, Canada's home of cricket, there is a very strong connection to the point where Manu is a regular listener of the podcast. He knows the existence of Yashi Sports. He knows that Yashi Sports is Canada's home of cricket.
Not only that, Manu, I found Manu's story quite interesting, where he was talking about, hey guys, I'm here at the ground. By the way, go stream my album. I was like, that's a very Yashi Sports ad read. I don't know if Manu was taking hints, but it worked.
Well, I'm not sure if there is a discount code to listen to Manu's album, but there is a discount code if you're buying equipment for Yashi Sports, and that discount code, ladies and gents, is BP10 for 10% off your purchase. And also, if you are buying stuff online from Yashi Sports, they have free shipping on orders of $350 and up. If you're going in person, you get the privilege of getting the expert advice that is promised by Yashi Sports. All around great package.
100%. Bashar, I have a question for you. When I say opener, why do you say Azam Khan?
Caught me as a shocker. You know, I saw the team sheet and it said Azam Khan as an opener, and I thought they just put Azam's names first. But then when I went on Quick Info, it was also Azam's name up top. And Rihanul Haq and one of the PSL Build-Up podcasts said that we're going to have a surprise opener. And trust me, I did not have Azam Khan opening as one of my surprise picks.
Let's talk about it. I was surprised as well. Was it a pleasant surprise? Did he live up to the expectations? 30 ball, 31 from him, 3 4s and a 6. He was struggling early on. I think it was 8 runs off 14 deliveries, I believe.
Well, just for context, this is not the first time that Azam Khan has opened in the T20 circuit. He's opened for Guyana Amazon Warriors in the CPL. And most recently, he was opening for Desert Vipers in the ILT20. And actually, his numbers are kind of decent as an opener. When he goes to bat at second position, he has a 28 average and 136.5 strike rate. Sample size is kind of low. There's only 4 innings that we have to judge from. But, I mean, they've tried experimenting with Azam going up top just for him to utilize a power play, just go for it, smack it. But I think this pitch was extremely difficult for Azam to go out there and just start smacking it. Sahibzada Farhan is playing on some different soil. This is probably like a Peshawar soil for him.
Yeah.
It felt like he was batting at home. And he started off from where he left off last match.
Azam was 4, let me just double check.
I think 4 off 11 or 12 balls.
Yeah, 4 off 11 or 12, and then he hits a 6 and basically gets himself up to 14 off 13 at the end of that over. So he was struggling in the beginning. The ball was staying low, and he did catch a nasty one on the face from Bas Afridi, top edge straight to the helmet. But I think he recovered well. He basically went run a ball on a pitch that was slowing and steadying and turning and gripping, and the target was just under run a ball, so he didn't have to do anything crazy.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but there seemed like a very clear plan from the United batters to come down the track and meet the ball as it pitches.
Yeah, I think we saw Sahibzada Farhan do that. We saw Shadab do that when he came into bat, and then
the 1-6 that Azam Khan hit was also, he came down the track and smashed it
what
towards.
a shot that was, straight from the middle of the willow. I felt like very reminiscent of his shot that he hit to Mohammad Hussain, albeit that one legit went out of the ground. And we were talking about this on our Patreon call. When the ball went into the air, we were like, wait, is that going out of the ground? And I was like, no, that just barely crossed the scaffolding where the crowd sits. And then I reminded everybody of that Hussain shot because that genuinely hit the top of the roof. And we've talked about how far the crowd sits in the Karachi stadium. For that to happen is insane. So I don't know if this is going to be a consistent thing for Islamabad United. Do you think when they went back into the dugout after the game was won, they saw the Azam pick as opener as a win or as I would probably mark it as a yellow, not a green.
I think if they're looking at their score in the power play, I think they finished at 48 in 6 overs or 44. So that to me, from Islamabad United point of view, is that they're already ahead of the game. The game is sort of on one side by credits to Farhan and Azam partnership. And Azam sort of made up for his slow start in the last over of the power play where he scored a 6 and a 4. So I think all in all, it's not a bad start, but I'm not sure if when they have Colin Monroe going 1 down, he can easily be an opener. They've got Andres Goose on the bench if they want to bring him in, because Islamabad can play 4 foreign players. They've only played 3 in this match, so they already have the ability to bring in another foreign pick. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to be seeking out a replacement for Matt Short or not.
I think I read Ali Naqvi's press release, and he said that he is trying to make alternatives with the management. They're all, if they have any updates, they will let us know. But as it stands right now, do you think Azam Khan gets another run at being an opener? Maybe in Pindi, maybe in Multan, where the pitch is a bit more flat?
Here's the thing. What we've noticed so far, and we talked about this in the last podcast, that ever since that Mark Wood over against Azam Khan, it seems like he's struggling against high pace and against short stuff. So anytime that Azam is coming into bat, they're not giving him spinners. He is a terrific spin basher, and teams are playing a fourth seamer. And as soon as Azam is coming on, they're putting a seamer on, they're bowling short stuff to him. And if Azam doesn't adapt, he's going to continue to struggle.
especially with the new ball that zips around a bit, that ball comes in fast. And I don't know, maybe I want to see him open a couple more times, see how that experiment actually sees
Yeah, I think
itself
this
through.
pitch is not the best way to judge
Exactly.
him.
A flat Multan or a Pindi pitch might be different.
Correct.
I think. Let's talk about Shadab Khan, man. Player of the game, man. 47 off 40, as well as 2 wickets, bowling, a complete all-round performance, and a complete captain's knock from both in the field and with the bat. What do you have to say?
A fit, performing Shadab Khan in all three aspects of the game is a Shadab Khan that adds the most value to any team he plays, whether it be Islamabad or Pakistan or Desert Vipers. So to see Shadab taking wickets, to see him be at his best as a captain and scoring runs, that balance that he gives to the Islamabad team is unreal. And I want to see that same Shadab Khan in the Pakistan setup. So I'm really happy for Shadab. Him scoring runs will give him confidence, and hopefully he can translate that to the Pakistan team as well.
I want to know if what you think about this. A lot of the T20 games that Pakistan is to play this year, and again, the big 2 tournaments that are coming in, which is the Asia Cup and the ICC T20 World Cup, are both being played in Asia. Pitches will be similar to the one that we witnessed today, or will they be similar to the one in Pindi?
It depends where they're playing. Well,
Let's say Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka might be a little different.
Slower, lower.
The games that I recall that have happened, like the last T20 World Cup, like 150, 160 are good totals.
Mhm.
So it also depends like how good your death bowling is, how good your spinners is. I remember Pakistan wasn't able to chase 150 against Sri Lanka in the 2012 T20 World Cup semifinal.
Mhm.
So, I mean, either Pakistan had a really bad batting lineup or they Sri Lanka bowled really well to contain Pakistan. So I got to see some more numbers on what the stats say regarding T20 games in Sri Lanka and how much the ball spins, what the average scores are. So I can't make a call right now.
I only ask because if the pitches are similar to this, where 150, 160 odd is competitive, then Shadab Khan might be lethal. Again, all the caveats in place, all the asterisks in place that he bowls really well. He bowls in that shoebox length. His variations are on par. He's not pitching it up. He's not dropping it short. All of that included. If you give Shadab Khan pitches like these with performances like these, I think Pakistan will 8 out of 10 find themselves in the winning spot.
Can we agree that Pakistan's best spin bowling trio combination was Shahid Afridi, Saeed Ajmal, and Mohammad Hafiz?
100%, without a doubt.
So Pakistan has to replicate something similar where Shadab can play the Afridi role, where we can have a mystery spinner. Whether it could be Sufyan Nakeem, it could be Abrar Ahmed. And we also need another spin bowling all-rounder up top, whether that be Salman Ali Agha, could be Mohammad Nawaz, could be Arfat bin Haas.
Saim
Ayub, right? So because Afridi and Hafiz can also bat, that made Pakistan's team, their T20 team, a lot more dynamic.
And it was balanced.
It was balanced. We had a lot of batting depth back in the day.
And you could play a Saeed Ajmal, who was a proper all-in-all off spinner.
Correct.
And he was your main wicket taker because he would come in the middle, give you 4 overs and absolutely obliterate the opposition.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's just talking about depth, talking about balance, talking about giving your captain options. Shadab Khan, fit, in form, a winner.
Yeah, I mean, this is great stuff. I was just hearing a thing on the podcast again with the Pro Sports, and he was talking about how Islamabad United, we all know, are great with data. They're great with matchups. But the one thing that makes them stand out from other teams, because every team also has access to all this data stuff, it is their planning and it is the execution of their players of those plans on field. He was talking about how Chris Jordan, they gave a plan to Chris Jordan against Karachi Kings to bowl wide Yorkers to Khurshid Shah, but Chris Jordan, for some reason, did not follow those plans and got smashed by Khurshid Shah. And he said, we talked about these plans before the match, but Chris Jordan thought he knew better in the moment. Islamabad United hardly has that issue. Whatever plans that they come up with, their players 99% of the time come out and execute those plans.
I'm listening to all Pro Sports, eh? Are you
Shout out to Benham and Saad.
Are you Johnny on the podcast?
Soon to be
Johnny.
I might give them a jersey.
Yeah, hopefully. If you were to go to Islamabad, that collab was on the cards for sure. Yeah, I mean, Islamabad United right now as a table stand, 4 of 4, top of the table, 9 straight wins. Sultan's bottom of the table, 3 of 3 losses.
Sultan's run rate is disturbing.
Negative 2.9 final to the last tournament, and now somewhere in the bottom, somewhere in the lower tier. Ali Threen making a huge podcast circuit right now. Thoughts? I would have loved to hear his thoughts on how this team is going. He's putting up a brave face on the social medias, but he must not be a happy camper.
Not really.
Not really. What is the next game for the PSL? Let me just check this, then we'll get your predictions in, Bashar, and we'll have ourselves. We'll walk ourselves out of this podcast. Tomorrow is Karachi Kings back to back with PZ in Karachi. I believe this is the last game in Karachi. A lot of thankful sighs from the audience there. Also the Karachi crowd. What's happening?
Sorry, say that again. Who's playing?
Karachi Kings versus Peshawar. Bashar. Come on. Get your head in the game.
Oh, wow. Is that in Karachi?
It is in Karachi. Last game.
Is it on the Australian soil?
I guess so. Can they play back-to-back games on a similar pitch? Maybe it's a different strip.
It's tough. I think I'm going to back Karachi to win this.
Probably.
Because Mir Hamza against Babar Azam tomorrow is going to be a matchup. Left arm pace versus Babar Azam.
I can't. Get ready for the thumbnails, guys, already. It's going to be another downward arrow and about a sad-looking Babar Azam and like downfall.
I have just one last question. I'm trying to make this a segment, maybe it's ongoing in the podcast. Last 2 podcasts ago, you guessed the top 5 wicket takers in the history of the PSL. I want you to guess the top 5 run scorers in the history of the PSL. Go.
Babar Azam.
Number 1.
Knew it. Ahmed Shadab?
Nope.
Not even in the list. Okay. Who's played for a long time? Shoaib Malik's in there?
Shoaib Malik is in there, correct.
What number?
1, 2, 3, 4. Shoaib Malik is the 4th highest run scorer.
If you play every single PSL forever, gonna be bound to be in there. Who else? I can't think of. Give me a hint.
Well, what's the name associated with Babar often?
Oh, Mohammad Rizwan?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Rizwan is number 3.
Rizwan is number 3. I'm trying to think of.
There's one foreign batter.
One for Riley Rousseau?
Yes.
I thought
Riley Rousseau is number 5.
Yeah, he's played a lot for Kuwait and just in the PSL in general.
So you're just missing the number 2nd batter.
Number 2nd batter. Who could it be?
Also has the most 6s in the history of the PSL.
Most 6s as well. That's crazy. Is that Asif Ali?
Nope.
That Shahid Afridi can't be him. Give me a hint.
Prolific opener for Pakistan.
Fakhar Zaman. Can't believe it. I blanked out.
Yeah. Babar Azam, Fakhar Zaman, Mohammad Rizwan, Shoaib Malik, Riley Rousseau amongst the top run scorers.
Who's 6 and 7? Do you have that?
Number 6 is a relative of Babar Azam.
Umar Akmal? Kamran Akmal.
Kamran.
PSL legend, man. He genuinely a PSL legend. Respects on Kamran Akmal.
137 strike rate for Kamran Akmal.
Pretty good. One of the main reasons that Pakistan has a T20 trophy is Kamran Akmal. People forget that. I mean, we troll him a lot on this podcast as well, but...
You know who has the lowest strike rate amongst the top 5 batters?
Is it Babar? Okay. Well, what are you trying to say? What is your point?
The numbers don't lie.
Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. But I really like these. Bring more of these trivia stuff.
How about you ask me some questions too?
I mean, what do you want me to do?
I hate this being a one-sided thing.
Okay, I'll get some trivia for you. I'll get some crazy trivia for you. All right?
Hit me.
A lot of people are upset that the math in the last podcast.
The math was not mathing.
Was abysmal.
Just for my...
3 games... Three average should be 1 per game. Well, we said 1.5. Why did we do that?
Wait, just the equation that I was using for Babar's scoring rate, it was n plus 1.
It was n plus 1. Okay.
So n is the matches he plays, and then he's adding 1 score. So
and what was my formula?
Your formula doesn't work actually.
It was just double.
Well, because he scored 0 in the first match, it doesn't work, right?
Okay.
Because if it's
right.
n times 2, then 0 times 2 is 0.
I checked out already. Anything to say to the 1.5 averagers? Deniers?
We were talking about the last 2 matches.
Okay, there we go. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you to Sendwave. Thank you to Yashi Sports. Thank you to the Patreon members. Cheers, guys.
See ya.